Hey guys, so today we're going to learn about adjectives. We're going to do a review of them. But before we begin, I need you to make sure you have a sheet of paper and a pen or pencil with you because we're going to have some examples that I want you guys to try on your own and then come back and check. So, what is an adjective? An adjective is a word that gives more information about a noun. It can tell me what kind of noun it is, how many of it are there, and they usually appear before the noun. For an example, I have a large dog. Large is describing what kind of dog I have. Okay? You can even have more than one adjective per noun. Let's look at this sentence. I have 3 large dogs and 1 little dog. So in my first one, 3 and 1 are both numbers, so that tells me how many I have. The second adjective, large and little, both tell me what kind. Awesome. So for the next slide, you're going to have seen some sentences on there, and I want you guys to circle the adjectives and then tell me if it's telling me what kind of noun or how many of that noun are there. Here are your 5 sentences. I want you to go ahead and pause the video for right now while you go ahead and do them. Once you are done, then come back to check the answers. All right, well, welcome back, and let's go ahead and check. So, early people found that dogs made good hunters. Early is telling me what kind of people. Good hunter, good is telling me what kind of hunter. Strong dogs can pull sleds through deep snow. Strong, again, is telling me what kind. And so is deep. It's telling me what kind of snow. One famous dog rescued 40 lost people in the mountains. One famous are both describing dog, and 40 lost are both describing people. Now let me get another color so you guys can see better. So 1 is a number, so that's telling me how many dogs. Same thing with 40. It's telling me how many people. But what kind? Well, actually, famous is telling me what kind of dog. And lost is telling me what kind of people. Clever sheepdogs help farmers with large herds of sheep. We have clever describing sheepdogs, and it's telling me what kind. And large is telling me about the herds. And again, it's telling me what kind. Some smart dogs help people who cannot see. Some and smart is both telling me about these dogs. Smart is telling me what kind. And some, even though it's not a number like 1 or 40, is also telling me how many. Awesome job. Let's move on. So adjectives after be. This can be a little bit confusing because we're used to adjectives being before a noun, but they can come after words like I, it, and we because we have our special verb over here of be, where we have be, is, am, are, was, and were. As an example here, I am excited, right? Excited is my adjective and it's explaining I and how I am feeling, while am is my verb be. So in the next slide, you're going to have some examples, and I want you to find me the verb be and the adjective. Here we are, so go ahead and again pause this, do these 6 sentences, and come back when you're ready. All right, let's go ahead and check these answers. The weather is beautiful. I'm going to do my verbs in purple, and I will do my adjectives in red. So we have purple, so the weather is, that is my verb, and what about the weather? It is beautiful. The fair is exciting, again. What about the fair? It is exciting. We were eager. Jamie is proud. The chicken is fat. The eggs are large. Beautiful job. Again, remember, even though they are at the end, it is still describing the noun that is at the beginning of the sentence or the subject of our sentence. Then we have special adjectives. So these special adjectives, which are a, an, and the, are called articles. Okay, and we use them for specific reasons. We use a when we're talking about a single noun and it starts with a consonant sound, like a flower. We use an, again with a singular noun, but if the beginning of the word starts with a vowel, like an iris. You use the if the noun is talking about something specific, like the garden. And you also use the when you have a plural noun, like the flowers. So in these next sentences, in these next actually words, I want you guys to tell me what article could go in front, and be aware that some of them may have more than one. Right, now that you've written down your articles, let's go ahead and check. So contest. So contest, we know that it's singular and it starts with a consonant. So it's actually going to be a contest, or if it's talking about a specific contest, it could be the. Let's look at award. It starts with a vowel, so we know it can't be a, but it is an award, or if it's talking about a specific award, it is the award. Orchids is plural, so it can't be a or and, so it has to be the orchids. Students, same thing. It is plural, so it can't be a or and, so it has to be the students. And then prize, it starts with a consonant, so we know it is a prize, or if it's talking about a specific one, it is the prize. Beautiful. Hang on in, we're almost done. Adjectives can help us to make comparisons. They can tell us how things are similar, they can tell them how they're different. If you are comparing two things, you're going to add an ER at the end of your adjective. If you're comparing 3 or more things, you're going to add EST to the end. Let's look at the example. I took a long trip. So there's only one trip, I'm not comparing anything, so long is my adjective. That's my root word. Jason's trip was longer than mine. So I'm comparing two. I'm comparing Jason's trip and my trip, but Jason's was longer, so here's that ER at the end of longer. Emily took the longest trip of all. So because we have this keyword of all, it's telling me that there's more trips than just two. So it could be between mine, Jason's, and Emily's. It could be between anybody in the class or her family. And because there's a lot of them, we end it with that EST for longest trip. Now what about we have some special words of good and bad of when we're doing comparison. When we're comparing just one thing or just saying that one thing is good, it's just plain and good. If it's 2 or more, one of them is better. And if it's 3 or more, one of them is the best. With bad, we have something similar. If it's just one, again, bad, plain and simple. 2 or more, one of them is worse. And if it is 3 or more, the absolute worst one. So let's go ahead and try out some examples. So here you have your 6 practice ones. If you notice at the end of every sentence, you have the root word of what you're going to be using to compare. So go ahead again, pause it. This is our last set, and then we'll come back and check when you're ready. All right, it's the last one, so let's go ahead and finish strong. Let's grab a new color. You know I like purple. And let's write this out. So Alaska is not the state. Well, we know that we're going to use new, and we know that there's a whole bunch of states. We have 50 states. So this one has to be newest. Every state except Hawaii is blank than Alaska. Well, we're only comparing two. We're comparing Hawaii and Alaska, so we're only going to use the ER, which is older. Alaska is the blank of all the states. We have that keyword again. We know there's a whole bunch. So we're going to add that EST, and it is going to be biggest. However, Wyoming has the blank population. When we know it's tiny, and we're talking about even though it doesn't have the word all in it, we know that it's talking and it's comparing it to all of the other states. And so we are going to use the word tiniest. Now for 5 and 6, we're going to use good and bad, so let's see how many things we're comparing so we know what adjective is correct. Danny thinks that the blank thing of all on a rainy Saturday is to visit the library. We have that keyword again, all, so if it's good, that means it is the best thing to do. Every book she looked at was blank than the one before. Well, she's talking about the book that she currently has in her hand, and the one before, that's only 2, so this one will actually be worse. Awesome job, guys, and I hope this helped to better understand your adjectives.